Hey everybody, my name is Anthony Pham, and I'm currently documenting my process on training for my first ever half Ironman, the Oceanside 70.3, happening on March 28th, 2026, which is a little bit more than a month from now. If you haven't seen the video already, I've upgraded from my $550 Facebook Marketplace bike to a 2026 Cervelo P105 tri-bike. Buying a tri-bike can be expensive, and although I don't recommend that for everybody, if you have the budget to do so or the means to do so, I'd look into it. Today we're looking at the accessories that aren't strictly essential, but they've definitely leveled up my training and made life on the road a lot easier. I've also posted a video of how much I spent on my first triathlon, and I'll link that in the corner here, and you can take a look at it. Once you got the essentials covered, these are little extras that made my tri training a lot more comfortable and honestly, a lot more fun. First up is the Wahoo Elemnt Bolt version 3. This is a bike computer. I tried finding version 2 or version 1 on Facebook Marketplace for cheaper, and there were a couple, but it was just way too far. It was either in LA or in San Diego. I couldn't find any near me, and then finding a version 2 retail, I think it was like $280. The version 3 is $350. I ended up finding it on Amazon for $320, so I didn't want to buy a 6-year-old version 2, when the new one was just $60 more. I figured, you know what? Let me just future-proof myself, buy the version 3, and I think there's minimal differences from the version 2 to version 3. I think version 2 has a bigger screen. I figured I'd just bite the bullet, get the version 3, and I feel like it's been really helpful just to have it mounted on my bike. Although you can just track your workout on your Apple Watch or your Garmin, I felt like it was really helpful for it to be mounted in the front of my bike so I can see at a quick glance how long I've been going, how fast I'm going, and stuff like that. I still wear my Apple Watch or my Garmin just to monitor my heart rate. I'm sure there's a way I can connect my watch to the computer, but I like just having a single screen to look at and not having to look at my wrist every time just to try to figure out how long I've been going for. Now, buying a bike computer wasn't really something that I was planning on buying because it's expensive and I'm trying to justify another 300 plus accessory on this already expensive bike. But once I got the bike, which has a power meter, on my first couple of rides, I realized I'm not getting any data. And then I realized that you have to open the 4iii Precision app that connects to the power crank or the power meter to be able to see what my power output is, on top of starting Strava and all that kind of stuff. I figured, you know what, I just want to simplify this. I don't want to have to remember to start the activity on the power meter app and then start it on my Strava or start on my watch. I just wanted one simple place to do that, and the bike computer did that for me. I like that I was able to customize the pages on my computer screen to tell me what data I'm looking at, time elapsed, the incline of the hill, how many miles I've biked, what time it is, the power output of the cranks, and yeah, it's just all in one. And what's really cool about this bike computer, or any bike computer, is that it connects to other accessories that you have on your bike. This is the Garmin Varia RTL515. It's just a bike light. It's pretty fancy. I think it retails for $150. I got it for $120, again, off Amazon. This is just a fancy bike light that uses their radar technology to change the interval of how fast the light blinks based on upcoming traffic. And from what I remember, it can even sense things up to a mile away, whether that be a car or another cyclist. Now, the number one thing I prioritize when getting into the sport or getting into cycling is safety. And my goal is to go out for a ride and come back home in one piece. You'd be surprised how many distracted drivers are out there, or people don't know how to react when there's no bike lane and a bike is sharing a lane with a car, and distances. And it's just spooky when you're riding your bike, maybe in the riverbed, and a group of cyclists come by you and you have no idea, and you know, maybe they've been trying to get past you for the last, couple minutes or so. So for me, having this light radar is worth it. It's worth the $130 or whatever I paid for it, because it gives me a peace of mind knowing that I am going to be seen. Now, there are other things that I'm doing to increase my visibility on the road. A guest speaker at our first triathlon suggested to wear a white sock or a neon sock on one foot, just to bring some sort of attention to say, hey, I'm over here. Because some of these people are, you know, you're biking on a regularly traveled street for most people who know every turn, every bump, and they may be a little bit distracted. You're just bringing some sort of attention to say, hey, I'm here. Now, I also bought a bright orange bike. It's mauve, that's their color, but it's a bright orange bike to also increase visibility. My bib is always a bright color. My tri-suit is white. I try to stay away from dark colors. Same thing with swimming and all that kind of stuff. It's just a safety thing. My helmet is silver and green. I'm just trying to increase my visibility so that drivers know that I'm there and are aware of my presence. And that's the number one thing for me, is being safe. And what's really cool, to go back to the computer, is this connects to my computer. And I'll overlay some videos of it here. When it senses a car coming or a biker coming, it will actually beep. And there's a graphic on the left side of the screen that shows their relation to where I am. And so I'm able to gauge how far a group is or how far a car is in relation to me, so that I don't get spooked while I'm biking. And it's actually pretty hard to hear while you're biking with all the wind and, you know, traffic and all that kind of stuff. And so this at least gives me a heads up that, hey, somebody is coming up. And whether that's a cyclist on the riverbed or it's a car, it's just heightens my awareness of my surroundings. And it's hard for me to turn my head around just to see, you know, how far traffic is. These two, I feel like, are essential in making sure that I'm comfortable on the road and also I'm safe. And that's gonna take us to the next section, which is the one thing I hate most about buying accessories for cycling. I'm gonna show that to you on the bike so that you can have a better understanding of what I'm dealing with or what cyclists deal with. But yeah, let's go take a look. All right, so this is my seat post. It is very skinny, and you can tell by looking at here. And the entire bike is pretty skinny, and that's one of the selling points, is it's very aerodynamic. It cuts through the wind. There's not a lot of surface area to be able to get drag from. But this is the seat post, and imagine this thing's not here. Now, the Garmin comes with 3 different seat post, mounts that fit a wide range of configurations, and you basically put a rubber band that they give you, pretty dense rubber band, to fit around the seat post. But the rubber band that they give you is not long enough to wrap around this post, and you'll see that this doesn't really fit my seat post. And so I scoured the internet, and pretty much all roads led to Etsy being a custom 3D printed solution. And this guy sells a lot of them, which were rated, and so I figured, you know what, this is probably just like my best option. And I was willing to pay more for a actually machine part, but there's no other options. And it's basically 2 screws on the 3D printed bike mount, and that's pretty much it. And now you just put the bike light on and it stays, but it's not as secure. I don't know where my original mount is, but it clips in. And there's a couple times that I'm riding my bike and I'm looking back to make sure that this hasn't fallen off, but it's not as secure. The other one snaps on and it stays. So if there's somebody that has a solution, more permanent solution or more rigid solution, I'm all ears. And here's the mount for the bike computer. This one's not so frustrating because they had specific diameters that fit the TT bar, that fit this specific Wahoo product. But if you have a Garmin product, then they're not interchangeable, which I wish they were all were. But yeah, this is the bike computer mount. All in all, I'm still pretty happy with the Cervelo P series. Put about 200 miles in, and hopefully some more before the race actually starts. I'm working on getting a dual water bottle holder here because one is not enough, but yeah. All right, that pretty much wraps up the video, and those are the accessories that aren't really essential, but to me are essential in terms of making sure that I'm comfortable and also safe. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, subscribe. And we are about a month away from Oceanside 7.3. We got a lot of training left to do, and I hope you guys are enjoying all the content so far. More to come, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.